Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, viewers from all different likes and places, welcome. It's your boy, Purple Slushy, coming back with another inspirational, motivational, extraterrestrial video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the new Dehkia Thornwood spot that was updated recently, showing you exactly what you need to grind here and how the rotation works and what you best need to just get started with your Thornwood Dehkia journey if you have yet to grind here. Again, my name is Purple Slushy. If you are new to my content, I do stream on Twitch where you can watch a lot of me grinding, PvPing, doing all kinds of fun stuff with the community live on twitch.tv/Purple Slushy. The link for that will be in the description down below. Hope to see you guys there. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get into the video. So let's get it. So we are at Thornwood. Thornwood Forest can be found to the left of Otraxia. And you do need to complete, I believe, the Odalita main story to unlock the ability to get the quest for the Dehkia Lantern, which can be a quest that I believe you get through either your Black Spirit or just your quest tab. I think it's in the Black Spirit though, once you complete the Odalita quest line, and you will unlock the Lantern. Now, Thornwood is up here, and the main rotation can be found where this picture is of the Thornwood mob. Now, the actual Dehkia rotations are going to be found throughout these little roads down here, around these different waterways, and scattered throughout, and they will be indicated with a purple orb above it, indicating that it is a Dehkia spot that can be grinded. That purple orb looks like that over there, and you will see the Dehkia symbol above it, indicating that you can grind there. With that being said, let's talk about what can actually be obtained from the Dehkia spot. If we come down here to the item list and we go to Thornwood Dehkia, we can see that it is required 310 400. That's the recommended, but I'm only at 306, 299, 397, and I seem to do fine here. Now, if you do have better gear, you will be making more money, but I still make pretty decent money here. I don't really keep track of my loot, but I do know that I make over $1 billion an hour minimum, so it is really nice for me. And yeah, so basically, once you have your gear and you feel comfortable with the gear and you want to come try it out, the first thing that you're going to want to do is you want to make sure that you have 100% knockback resistance. That's the only resistance that you have to worry about now, besides the KD that can still happen from the Dark Knight, which is a boss that spawns, but she only spawns only a couple times during the hour, and you can kill her pretty quickly. So when that does happen, she can KD you, but it's pretty easy to avoid the KD. You just got to frontal guard her big red AoEs. Once you have 100% knockback resistance from your fighting spirit crystals, as well as the black magic crystal adamantine, you'll be good to go for your resistances. As far as your damage output, right, that's going to come from 2 Awkrod crystals. Gear and tier, I broke my tier earlier today, so I put in a ticket. Hopefully we get that back with one of my crystal redemptions. But right now I have just a normal gear and crystal in there. 2 of the new Elcar crystals, 2 Vipers, 2 darkness crystals. Now I do run back attack damage here, as well as the decimation crystals, because for me on Succession Sork, I can move really fast and position myself and wrap a lot of my moves around to the backs of enemies, which allows me to get to their backs quickly, allowing me for a lot of DPS for back attacks. So I take advantage of that with these crystals. I also run 2 Rebellious. I did break a Rebellious as well, so I have 1 Valor, 1 Rebellious. Now, if you wanted to, you could get rid of 2 Decimations and the 2 Rebellious and put in for Macaloids. I do not have Macaloids, but if you do have those, you can do that as well, and that will be actually better than the 2 Rebellious and the Decimations. But that is the setup that you want to run for your crystals. As far as artifacts go, I run extra AP against monsters with Death Blow. I like Death Blow. I've had it for a while, so that's just what I use. And yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as buffs, simple cron meal, frenzy. I do use calcs. Sometimes I don't use any perfumes. I just had a bunch of elixir boxes running around, laying around, so I'm just using the calcs from that. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get jumped by these mobs here, and I'm gonna block them, take their hairline. Yep, give me that hairline, and yep, no ominous ring. No, that's sad. So what we're gonna do is just gonna repair real quick. You want to make sure that you are getting your 50% item drop rate buff right here from the tent, and the villa body enhancements. You're going to want to get your church buffs as well, and I do run a house buff with the plus 15 AP. All right, so let's go ahead and get the party started with the grinding. All right, so I'm having to do a voiceover right now because I realized that I didn't split my audio tracks, so the game sound is just too loud. So I'm going to try to voice over the grind that I did here and kind of talk about the things that I talked about as I was grinding. The biggest thing with the mobs when you grind here at Thornwood is you want to make sure that you are bobbing and weaving between the mobs. So what I mean by that is you want to maximize the damage that you're doing. So by bobbing and weaving, you're iframing around the mobs if you're playing like Sork or whatever class, getting behind them, doing as much damage as possible, but also minimizing the risk of you taking a lot of damage by making sure that when you're bobbing and weaving getting behind them, they're not able to hit you because you're behind them, you're doing a lot of damage, and you're not taking much damage. So what you do here is you go and you kill the mob pinion. Once the mob pinion is killed, you can do your lantern, and then everything should spawn here off rip. When everything spawns, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and you want to aggro all of the mobs here. So right here, everything is about to spawn, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to aggro everything. So we're going to wait for these mobs to spawn here just a second. All right, so all the mobs are spawning. I'm using my aggro skill, and I'm going to try to pull everything, and then I'm immediately going to try to go to a calc, which is the flying bird, and I want to make sure that I am focusing on them as soon as they spawn. Now, this first spawn off rip was really cooked because they didn't spawn the way that I needed them to, and sometimes that happens. It's because I didn't aggro them long enough at the beginning, but what you want to do is you want to make sure that you focus the calcs off rip, and you want to make sure that you're getting to the mobs back. The way that it works is once you kill all of the mobs at this spot, the next mob pack will spawn. Now, you don't have to kill all of them. You can leave one. If you leave one mob, then the next pack will still spawn. But if you leave more than one, like if you have 2 alive, then the next pack won't spawn. So you need to make sure it's very important that you're pulling your packs very consistently, because that's where the money comes in. Killing everything at the same time and then having the next pack spawn immediately is what you want to go for here. Now, at first, it's really frustrating when you're trying to do that, but over time, as you're grinding the spot, you'll realize that it's a lot easier and you become a lot more consistent with pulling everything and getting everything together. So it's really important that whenever you are fighting these mobs, that you're getting to their backs. As you can see here, I'm consistently iframing to the left or to the right of the mobs as they're turning around when I'm hitting them, because when I'm hitting them, they're gonna eventually turn around. I need to get to their backs again and consistently hit them. As well as I'm not putting myself in a position while fighting these mobs where I'm giving them a chance to actually do a lot of damage to me. Now, these mobs individually don't do a lot of damage, but collectively as a unit, they do a lot of damage and they hurt. So right there, as you can see, I was doing damage to them, but I was in the middle of all of them, so they took my health down pretty low. And that's what I meant by bobbing and weaving. You want to make sure that you're not putting yourself in a vulnerable position that's going to allow the enemies to do a lot of damage to you. So kind of dancing around the mobs and hitting them as best as you can while avoiding all that damage is going to be critical and crucial for you to min-max the amount of loot that you want to get while grinding here. Now, grinding here is probably my favorite place to grind right now. I wasn't really able to grind here before the changes just because of how hard it was with all the different CCs that you had to manage. Also, having to manage all the damage that they did and the calcs going into the iframe states, it was just a lot for the gear that I had. With the new and improved Thornwood though, I have a lot more enjoyable time grinding here. I actually went and grinded Gyfin. Ooh, okay, before that, this is the dog phase. So when these guys come up, what you want to do is you want to just immediately damage them off rip, and you want to make sure that you're staying at these guys' back nonstop. If you go in the middle of these dogs and they go to all hit you at once, you will get one shot. It's happened to me multiple times. So definitely make sure, like, these bears and dogs, they spawn, they don't consistently spawn beside each other. Like that spawn, there was like 4 of them right next to each other. Sometimes they're like in the 4 different corners and you can only hit like 1 at a time, but focus on one of them or 2 of them or however many of them that you can hit at once when they spawn, until they move. Once they move, then you're just going to get to their backs like you normally would, but just focus 1 off rip or 2 if you can hit multiple when they spawn. But about the Gyfin thing, I went and grinded Gyfin back when Thornwood was the way that it was, because when Thornwood pre-nerf, it was too hard for me to grind. Like, I tried grinding there for a couple hours and it was miserable. I kept dying and I kept getting CC'd non-stop no matter what I was doing, because I had to manage so many different CCs. Now with the new and improved, it's a lot better. But when I was at Gyfin, I was making good money. But Gyfin's just, it's always Gyfin, it's always the same, and it needed something new. And with this new Thornwood update, not only is Thornwood better money than Gyfin, but it's more aesthetically pleasing. It's more of a newer grind spot since it's Dehkia. And to me, it feels like there's a bunch of mini games going on. You got a bunch of different different types of spawns that you have that can pop up. You got the normal calc spawn with the normal mobs. You got the dog spawns with the bears. You got the Dark Knight spawn. A bunch of different things for you here at Thornwood, and that's what I like about grinding, especially in this game, is because whenever they come out with spots that you can only grind once you get a certain amount of gear, I look forward to those spots, like the new desert spots in Mandaya that came out, like Thornwood. I was looking forward to grinding here, and whenever they made it to be able to grind here with less gear and everything after the nerf, I was so ecstatic. But that's what I love about BDO, is because you're putting in so much time and so much effort into the game, and it's like, okay, like I'm putting in all this time and effort, and what do I get out of it? Well, what you get out of it is by getting stronger, you're able to go to these better grind spots. You're able to be stronger in PvP and, you know, fight different people that you normally wouldn't have been able to fight before, and go to different grind spots that you weren't able to grind before. And that's the journey of BDO. And for me, that makes me happy, being able to look forward to, you know, getting better gear and being able to grind these different spots and stuff like that. And grinding Thornwood, it keeps you on your toes. Like, it's not as intensive as like a Calamity 7 boss rush boss, but it's still pretty intensive to the point where, like, you need to focus, and if you don't focus, then you are going to get melted, and you're gonna have to pay for it. So the only thing left that I haven't showed you is a Dark Knight spawn. Now, I was hoping that a Dark Knight spawn would spawn during this grind session when I was recording, but it actually ended up spawning way later into the grind session. So I recorded that, so I'm going to swap over that clip and show you how the Dark Knight mechanic works. Okay, so here we have a Dark Knight spawn. You can tell that it's a Dark Knight spawn because the birds won't spawn, just the normal mob spawn. You'll see the Dark Knight here. You'll see her health bar there in a second. What you want to do is you want to DPS her as fast as possible, because as you're DPSing her and you kill these normal mobs, the next mob pack will spawn and you'll have to deal with even more mobs. So making sure that you're consistently killing her is important. This red AoE that just happened, you either need to frontal guard that or step out of the circle, because she will KD you when she does the red AoE move. Here's another red AoE move here. I went into frontal guard, and I was able to avoid the KD that happens there. If you do get KD'd and then you're stuck like with all these mobs right here, you will die. So it's important to stay consistent, DPS her nonstop. As you can see, she died right there, and then you're able to just go back to your business. So you don't really have to worry about too much, just that little KD from her little red AoE that she does, but it's very, very easy to avoid that. that is about it for you guys. Hopefully you guys were able to learn something new with this video. I hope I inspired you to come try out Thornwood. If you haven't, I highly recommend it. It's a great spot and it's very, very fun. I've been having a blast grinding here, and it's awesome for money. So if you like money and you want to try a spot that's difficult, definitely come to Thornwood. It's not overly difficult, but it's definitely worth trying. I am going to be making more content here. I've been super motivated and driven lately to make a bunch of videos, and I want to know what you guys think. Like, what kind of content do you guys want to see me make? I make a lot of guides and montages, but I've been wanting to make other types of content for BDO, but I'm not too sure what to make. So if you guys have any ideas or anything, definitely shoot me down in the comments down below and let me know what you guys want. Also, if you're a new viewer and you like my content, follow me on Twitch. I do stream over there, and also subscribe to my YouTube if you haven't already. Like the video. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support lately. It has been awesome. But that's all I got for you guys. Until next time, it's been your boy Slushy. Peace.